Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, a psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. This is going to be one of the strangest episodes that we are going to produce by far. It is also an episode that I am not very confident in doing because this is a very foreign topic to me actually. So let me give you some background first. As you may have noticed, the rate at which I am producing videos have dropped tremendously. Why? This is because I have no more heart, I have no more motivation doing this anymore. There was one day I went around telling my friends, my very close friends, that I no longer want to feel obliged to help humanity anymore. So it may not have been my exact words, but the gist is very simple. I feel very tired. I don't want to contribute to society anymore. So one day it dawned upon me that human beings are ugly beings. They will never learn. They are ignorant. They think very highly of themselves. All the negative traits of the human beings totally put me in awe. So there is no point in me doing anything extra. I am never going to change the world. And I tell myself, I no longer want to contribute to humanity anymore. I am going to recluse, close my door, and say goodbye to mankind. So incidentally, the close friends that I am with are into occult, just like myself. And they tell me something that I have never heard before, that I potentially could have been a starseed. So what is a starseed? So to put it very simply, let's use an example first. If you can understand the concept of reincarnation, so when we die, we may reincarnate and come back as a human being again. And if this cycle repeats and repeats and repeats, it is very likely that we can become an old soul. It's as if we have been to this place many times. While most people reincarnate and experience rebirth, it is also possible that some human beings are actually descendants from stars. So in our galaxy, there are a lot of stars. So there are also beings there. So from this very galactic point of view, the planet Earth is one of the most backward planets or most backward civilization. And all these starseeds, they come to descend onto Earth as human beings in a bid to propel mankind forward. So in very simple terms, as a starseed, you are now in a human form, but you probably came from the star up there. So there are civilizations up there, and for some strange reason, you are tasked to help mankind to push forward so that human beings can evolve. I really like this idea because personally I feel that human beings are really very backward as a civilization. So following this talk, I went to read up on starseeds. And very strangely, I found that I am really identifying with the characteristics of a starseed. So according to my research, there are 17 known stars out there, and it is possible for you to be descended from any one of these stars or hybrid of those if you are a starseed. And souls from each of these stars have different characteristics. I've identified myself to be an Acturian, but one of my friends said that I could actually have been an Orion based on my birth chart and based on her observations of me. But when I read up on the characteristics of all the different star seeds, I personally really identify much more with Acturian, and my friend says that that is also possible. Very incidentally, according to the description of the Acturian, it fits the ENTJ very well. For those of you who are interested to know more about what starseeds are, I have dropped the link in the description box. You can go read it up. So putting my MBTI knowledge with what I have read about starseeds, I am starting to wonder whether a lot of NI users are actually born starseeds. But of course, it is not so straightforward. In order for you to be a starseed, there are also other characteristics that may actually be very uncommon. One of the characteristics is that you feel that you don't belong on Earth. And for a lot of goddamn times, especially when I was much younger, around 15 to 16, I have always imagined myself to be a prince from some star above, and I always hoped that the starship or a spaceship would come and just bring me back to that star. So according to my research, this is a very telling, telltale sign that you potentially could have been a starseed. So you don't feel as if you belong on Earth. a lot of us may also imagine ourselves to be aliens, but with a human form. That is also another indicator that you may have been a starseed. So sometimes you may have had bizarre ideas of outer space. It might not have been an imagination after all. It could have been your star, your real home, calling back at you. You have memories of your existence somewhere else before that. So sometimes starseeds really scorn their own existence, especially when they cannot move their work forward. Personally, besides having real episodes whereby I have actually thought that I was a prince or an individual from somewhere out there, I also don't feel particularly connected with my own family members. Since young, I only address my parents as biological parents. I don't feel as if they were my parents. It might sound very bizarre right then. I thought that something might be wrong with my sense of reasoning, but now that I learn more about something called the starseeds, I think it really makes sense. Back then I was younger, I do not know why I have this angst against my parents. My reasoning was that I didn't like them to be gambling parents. But now that I think about it, it could have been a result of my awareness of me actually coming from another civilization, another existence. So when I was younger, and even today, I don't really feel very attached to my parents, or I don't really identify with my parents as my parents, which is a very weird concept. In fact, sometimes I feel more attached to animals than with human beings. And when I read up more about starseeds, I found that it is possible for starseeds to feel that way. So currently, I'm very excited about this new discovery, and I am therefore jumping one episode because previously I mentioned that I had wanted to do an ISFJ episode. So viewers, do you have experiences like this that seems to be bizarre, but now that I mentioned the concept of starseeds, it actually makes sense to you? Or if you already know about starseeds and then you believe that you are one, would you kindly comment below and share with me? So according to the article that I have read, INFJs and INTJs could potentially be starseeds as well. Even though I feel that producing videos is something that I must continue doing, sometimes I feel so tired that I am in a protest or demonstration mode and I just don't want to do this anymore. So my production has become very irregular, but I think definitely I will continue to produce, so you don't have to worry. So if you have enjoyed this episode, do give us a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more MBTI and fun stuff. Okay, I am going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.